Good morning, everyone. I am Roger Isalejo Jr., and I will discuss to you about the impacts of water pollution in our environment. I know that many of us can live without love, but a person without water can't. As a human person, it is nature to me that I need water more than things that I need in this world. Water is the number one source to survive, and without water, we will die. That is the reality that we should open our eyes and mind that water is important. We should take care what God have given to us, especially the waters that completes our needs to survive. But before we proceed, what is water pollution? Water pollution happens when unsafe substances, regularly chemicals, or microorganisms taint or contaminate a stream, waterway, lake, sea, spring, or other waterway, debasing water quality and delivering it harmful to people or to the environment, or anything that can make the water polluted and contaminated. Destruction of aquatic flora and fauna. There are innumerable types of plants and creatures which rely on water for their endurance, making them the most helpless to water contamination. The 2010 Profound Skyline oil slick, for instance, antagonistically influenced more than 82,000 birds, 6,000 turtles, 25,900 marine warm-blooded creatures, and an unquantified number of fish and spineless creatures. In the interim, different types of contamination can obliterate the painstakingly adjusted environments and territories of water, abiding organic entities, clearing out whole species through and through. Drinking water supplies. Debasing the sources from which we draw our drinking water supplies throughout the long term implies that 2.1 billion individuals, or a little more than a fourth of the total populace, don't approach safe drinking water. Truth be told, in spite of enormous advances in inventive online water quality observing and drinking water organizations, even prosperous nations can win up helpless before messy drinking water. In 2014, the town of Stone in Michigan, USA saw hazardous degrees of lead invade its provisions, which means more than 10,000 individuals were uncovered and at any rate 12 slaughtered. Food chain disruption. Minute contamination of a waterway as large as the Pacific would appear to be insignificant. However, small microplastics, synthetic compounds, substantial metals, and different pollutants can be ingested by microorganisms and meddle with their internal organs. These are then devoured by bigger creatures, thus contamination steadily steers it far up the natural way of life. Sooner or later, it's attainable for the impurities to clear out a connection by and large, or probably arrive at the actual top of the pyramid by trading off human well-being. Agriculture. The fragile harmony among water and agriculture is basic to the environment. So it's basic that the water utilized for water system of yields and food of domesticated animals is kept conscientiously spotless. Inability to do so could harm the dietary benefit of the yields delivered by ranchers, or more awful yet, make them poisonous to the people. Regardless of what or whether the issue is perceived before it can cause a lot harm, the shortage of water in the period while it is being settled could prompt a drop-off in yields and result in food destitution for the world's most weak individuals. Economic downturns. Up until now, the entirety of the above outcomes of water contamination have zeroed in on the well-being's impacts. However, the expenses of water contamination can be monetary as well. A year ago, the Japanese specialists declared that they were coming up short on space to keep the field water supplies from the Fukushima power plant calamity under control. Studies have demonstrated that it's probably going to cost the public authority at least $660 billion to totally tidy up the aftermath from the occurrence.